the concern that I have, and I don't think everyone on the pod feels this way, but there were some tactical things that I was like, man, I think we can do a little bit better. Has he hit his ceiling? I think Pepe not getting to go to the World Cup, maybe Ferreira on the back line against the Dutch. I was like, yeah, And then it makes it doubly difficult because I defy you to find a more successful caretaker coach than what BJ Callahan's been able to do, essentially, and give us a lot of excitement for the chances that were created in that Nations League and be able to kind of step on the throat of some of the opponents and add another goal instead of sit back. Are you able to give us a pep talk? Because we're back in on Gregg, but we want to get excited again. We want to get excited again.
Yeah, so first off, what BJ is doing is wonderful for him. And I look, I don't talk to Gregg, but if he were here, I think he would say this is actually a good thing. Because by all accounts, BJ wants to continue on with Gregg when Gregg comes back and be part of his staff. So can you imagine this experience now in your assistant coach having gone through that? I will push back a little in that, the excitement and the entertainment that we saw a couple years ago when Gregg basically did the same thing, and I know BJ hasn't won the Gold Cup yet, but still, what happened with the Nations League, and then obviously what happened right on the back with the Gold Cup, that was exciting, that was fun. I will ask you though that what is it that you think limits Gregg Berhalter? What do you think when it comes to the game? You mentioned a couple of personnel decisions that you disagreed with, but from a tactical perspective, what is it in the game that he can't see but Pep Guardiola can see, or that he can't understand but some other coach can understand?
And I think that's a really great question. I think that there also, again, I need to identify that Gregg has never gotten to coach the front line as it was together in that Nations League, because I think that for me as a fan, and again, I'm 34, so I'm probably a little bit older than I look too, but long as I can remember, I don't think I've felt the dynamicness of a front line and excitement, the chances they were able to create than in those two games. And I think, obviously, there's going to be some recency bias, too. Sure. But in my head, I'm like, I don't want to go back from this. I think sometimes, and Nick and I talk about this a lot, is there's a lot of sitting back. There's a lot, sometimes we feel like, hey, let's get a goal and, try not to lose. And I think that's a thought process that I've had or something I've identified where I'm like, man, I think we have the talent now to not have to play that way sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
I think that Gregg Berhalter has a responsibility to you and to all of us, and I will hold him to account in that, he's gotten to a certain extent a get out of jail free card here, and it could have gone a completely different way. But with that, I think he has to show us that he has evolved, that he has progressed, and that it's not just the same thing. And I'm not saying completely abandon who you are and your ethos and your identity or anything like that. But to your point, you have to be reignited. You have to be refreshed, and you have to be brought back. And by the way, that is Gregg Berhalter's charge. And he is going to have to win back people that didn't think either in the moment he was good or after all the craziness happened, thought that we should have moved on. And many like yourself that believe that he is limited as to what he can do. So he's going to have to prove that with, maybe some more in his arsenal, he says, all right, we're going to do some different things. And I think, so he's got, like I said, I think he's got some work to do to win back folks and to prove that he is worthy of this incredible gift, by the way. To be the coach, potentially to lead this team into 2026, that's why there were plenty of people out there that wanted to have this job. It is a great gig. And with, like we're saying, with all this talent that is coming to bear right now, and this young generation that now will be in the prime of their career, I still think that this is a plum job with incredible opportunity. And Gregg Berhalter's very lucky, let's be honest, to have been given this opportunity yet again.